Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the First Class, Second Place podcast. I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and we got another first class guest up in the building today. But before we continue, I want to remind everybody that we are live in Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Shout out to Marv Beyond the Glass. It is the last day of September, the summer, excuse me, that's wishful thinking right there. I'm on October, baby. But summer is officially over, fall season's here. I'm that stubborn Taurus that says that summer is from June, July, and August. So don't tell me about the September 22nd nonsense or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, summer's over. Hope you guys had a great summer. Mine was kind of lukewarm, but we'll get into that another time. And better summers ahead. But I hope you guys had a great one. And this is also going to be the final episode of this particular unproverbial season. I will be taking a break for the month of September, but we will be back in October. Looking forward to it. But you can still catch me on the 2 a.m. crew every Tuesday night at 8:30, nonstop sports talk with my man Rick H. Definitely want to check it out. The Jets, Giants, Mets, Yankees, all of that. And be sure to check it out on YouTube, on all streaming platforms as well. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, finally got a guest here I've been wanting to have for quite some time. I've been checking out his music. He's been a fan of mine. I've been a fan of his. He's making waves all over the New Jersey rap scene, so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Ray Pearson is in the building. What is going on, Ray?
Yes, sir. You're...
How's it going, brother? Everything all good?
All is well, brother.
How was your summer, by the way?
It was I mean, despite, some of the festivals that was just like rain, it was cool. I got to do some things that were a bit therapeutic.
Oh, okay.
That was very much needed.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that's interesting because we had probably one of the hottest summers that I can remember. I was just sweating bullets all day, every day. Right. And yet you were performing on the days where it rained.
Yeah, like God had it out for me. No, not God, but Mother Nature had it out for me.
Yeah, like that, as the kids say, the math ain't mathin'.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but at least you made the best of it. I mean, that's all you can do in a situation like that anyway, right?
Yeah. I keep going back to the footage from Perth Amboy, and it's just like, all right, so what I do every year is all the festival performances, I kind of like put a reel together. And like when it's time for me to pitch to new festivals, I usually use the year prior. I'm like, listen, this is everything I did last year. So I'm looking at the footage for Perth Amboy, and it rained. And I happen to be performing while it's raining, and I'm looking at the footage, and I'm seeing everybody like scatter, and it's like, I'm kind of leaning towards not using the footage, even though the performance happened. It's just, it doesn't look good. Like, and then the GoPro, you gotta record from a certain distance.
Yeah,
chairs look a mess. It just doesn't look good. Like, the presentation doesn't look good.
Right.
So it's like, I might just cut my loss with that. Even though, like, there's a little clip on Instagram, I might just cut my loss and not add the video to the performance reel.
I mean, the way I look at it is either way you don't lose. I mean, it's not something that anybody's gonna miss, and you have enough in your catalog to further already, like, you have nothing else to prove. I mean, you're Ray Pearson. You've done enough in this game, especially around this whole great state of New Jersey, specifically with your artistry.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. But even though you made a lot of noise in New Jersey, you're technically not from Jersey. You were born and raised in the Bronx, right?
Yeah, for a good portion of my humble beginnings.
All right.
Bronx, 190th. And I mean, right off of Aqueduct Ave, Fordham Road. You know what I mean? So, like, that's my old stomping grounds.
Do you ever go back to visit?
That particular block, no.
Okay.
There, the last time I was there, I had shot a cipher, and we were already in the Bronx because the location of where the cipher happened was in the Bronx. So we managed to go to the building, and as I'm standing outside, someone was coming out, so it gave me a chance to go in and go upstairs, and I took a picture right in front of the door. So if I could, I'd go back just to like walk around the block, look at the building. But a lot of my family's still in the Bronx, so it's like home is home.
Got you. Now, for you young kids out there, a cipher, what he's referring to is that there was a time, a great time in hip hop, where some of the best artists would gather around in circles and just freestyle and work on their craft and so on and so forth. You don't see that much anymore. So just for you young kids out there, you little whippersnappers out there that don't know what a cipher is.
And
but anyway, continue.
We're not pertaining to the double XL freshman
no,
ciphers.
no.
Those are not ciphers, all right?
You want to know something crazy? I did happen to see the final, the last, I should say, cover of Double XL of the freshman class, and I didn't know a single one of them except for LiAngelo Ball, like one of the Ball brothers, who's a basketball player that's now starting to rap.
Yeah.
That just goes to show my age that I'm not fit for this game anymore.
But also too, like, I think because we're in this tri-state bubble, and you know, however they're getting put on. That might be SoundCloud.
Fair.
That might just be social media, TikTok.
Fair.
So when we turn on the radio, we're not. The majority of the time, we're not hearing the freshmen on the radio. We're hearing the Cardis and the Offsets and everybody that the radio thinks that we should like. So we usually we switch the station because, you know, how many times can you play WAP? How many times can you play a Megan Thee Stallion? The same song, not even like her
right, not even the catalog. Yeah.
It's just like the same song. So it's like then you just start switching the station until you connect to your Bluetooth, or you go to the digital music streaming platform that you use, and you just start listening to the music that you want to hear.
Right.
Because it changes.
Mm-hmm. I actually, believe it or not, and this is also a little bit of a shameless plug, for anybody who has Spotify, I actually have a playlist called Jason Enrique Radio, and basically in a nutshell, it is the music that constantly plays in my head. The way that I like to describe it is that if my life was a movie or a miniseries or whatever the case may be, these are the licensed tracks that would be in that story. So if you guys want to check it out, it's very eclectic. It's got everything from hip hop to R&B to rock to country to jazz to house music, everything. It's just extremely eclectic.
I'm a Spotify head, so
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Also, another shameless plug, I do have another playlist on Spotify called First Class Radio, and that is with a bunch of artists that I've worked with or artists that I respect that have been on First Class Second Place or I want on First Class Second Place. And you know who's also on that list? This gentleman right here.
Hey, yeah.
Who's that again? What wrestler? You know, you're
LA Knight.
The LA Knight. There you go. Shout out to LA Knight. I'm more of a Ric Flair guy, but woo!
Nature boy.
Yeah. So anyway, but back to you. The show's not about me. It's about you right now. So being in the Bronx, but making that transition to Jersey, but somewhere between that, there was your love that you found from music. I mean, I think you told me in a previous conversation that your brother got you kind of into it, or he inspired you to do it.
Well, listening to the demos that he used to record pushed me to kind of like mimic what he was doing.
Got you.
Until like it took a life of its own, but then it's like he was always the go-to. Like I still remember, like we were sitting outside of a laundromat in Jersey City.
Okay.
And he was like, "You need to put metaphors in your rhymes." So then I'm like, how? Like explain it. So then he gave me an example. So I was like, so something like, you know, waiting for tonight like J-Lo. He's like, yeah, something like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right. And then that wheel started rolling. So he was always the go-to when I needed an opinion, like, what do you think, how you think this sounds? And from there, like, so there's a Jay-Z line that I dedicated to him, and it's, I spit a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother. So anytime I feel as if I do something like extraordinary, it's you know, it's a bow to him because he was there from my beginnings. Even though it started as a mimic, but like that's probably number one as far as the person who inspired me. Then comes, you know, the M's and the puns. And
right, yeah.
So, but he was like number one because he was the reason why I even mimicked anything rap wise. So, yeah, no, so when I spit a big verse, you know, it's a salute to him.
You know, you telling that story, and yes, round of applause. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the very first time I ever put a pen to paper. and I was trying to write my very first rap because I did try to do music back in the day and it just didn't pan out. But I remember vividly, it was me, my best friend, and my brother. My brother didn't want to do it. He had no interest, and my best friend, me, were just basically like writing our own stuff. And initially, he wanted to do like some kind of club record or something you could play in the club. And meanwhile, I just started writing, I should say, this really violent angst, a bunch of lyrics, a bunch of like something that DMX would say. Right. And I'm thinking like, after I read it and afterwards I'm trying to put the beat to the lyrics, I'm like, who the hell wants to listen to this in a club? I mean, this is not what this is about. I got the wrong thing right here. So I don't know why, but that just kind of took me back to that. And I'm thinking now, like, what kind of anger issues did I have back then as a kid?
You know, it's crazy that you say that. My brother was more on the lane of a Maze, of Jay-Z, like flashy.
Got you. Yeah.
And I was the underground,
the hardcore
lyricist. Yeah. So it was like, one of the producers, he was like, how is it that you guys are brothers and you live in the same house, but yet you're two completely different type of rappers? Because, you know, like I fell in love with like the skill of writing. And, you know, later on that transitioned into storytelling, but he was the hit man. Yeah. He was the person that could pen a hit. I was the lyricist.
So it seems like he was more bad boy and you were more raucous.
Right. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, he was bad boy, but he could still, if he needed to step into that dance,
right,
he can step into that dance.
Got you.
That's why what I admired about him is that if he needed to, he can dance. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, I bet. Word.
Yeah. And I take it that he never really continued his pursuit of music like you did?
No, from the rapping perspective, no. And I wish he did. I just wish that he was in the circle or around a certain circle that would have, like, he would have the drive that I have.
Got you.
If that was it, then it's like, yeah, like he can go. He can go. But he transitioned from rapping to now producing.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So I've managed to we got some stuff in the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's beautiful in itself because like I said, it didn't work musically for me, but I was able to make the transition into another art form, which is podcasting and acting. And yes, I do consider podcasting an art form because not everybody can do this, and we're creating our own thing.
Right.
You know, it's all about making art, not content. And so, yeah, that's also that's great to see that your brother, even though one avenue of music didn't work for him, at least he still pivoted to something else where it's probably even more fulfilling for him.
Yeah, no, like he produced, like the music that I'm working on now. There was one record that he produced. The first verse was cake. He thought of the chorus, and I'll give him his credit because, again, at the end of the day, like that's my big brother. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if he says, yo, like, do this type of chorus, and it's like, all right, bet. Then he was like, yo, the second verse, you should recreate this verse from this person, but you put your twist on it. All right, bet. So he pretty much produced the record. All I had to do was just write.
Yeah, see, to me, that's a producer.
Right.
As opposed to just somebody that's just making a beat and then you just go over it. Because as far as a producer, like, you feel like you have to be the maestro, for lack of a better term. Like, you're supposed to make sure that everything falls into place, that it's not just you, it's also surrounding all areas of the music. And would you say that because he is your brother, that he has probably shown more passion and more criticism than any other producer that you worked with because he is your brother?
No, I think I'm at a level where it's like he doesn't have to worry, like he knows I'm gonna deliver.
But what I'm saying is, like, do you feel like that motivation and that push is there, which is more felt as opposed to somebody else that, you know, you worked with that really don't have the relationship of a family member?
Yeah, of course. Because, you know, like, it's
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Waynes.
Yeah.
It's like the Waynes. So it's like, it's organically there. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you try to force or that you got to build over, build over time. Like, it's automatically there. I mean, I've only known the guy since I was like, since I can remember.
Right. He was your first memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I think we're around the same age, and we definitely come from the same era. You being in this game for this long and knowing all the ups and downs that you've gone through, what would you say is what would you say was like the biggest like shift where you're like, oh my God, this whole thing is going in a new direction and I have to learn how to keep up with the pace?
MySpace,
okay.
the decline of MySpace.
Okay.
Because from MySpace, it became the digital era. And even through MySpace, I was one-man army, self-managed. I had to figure everything out for myself. And then the digital era just made it much more challenging. And I'm still in that thing, but it's like I still work off the fact that it's like, listen, I was bettering myself as a writer and a rapper at a time where it was skill-based. Now it's number-based. Mm-hmm. And if people only knew, like, now I don't care what you think about social media, especially Instagram. There's a good portion of my followers that are fake accounts. Because I don't
bots.
Yeah, so it's like I don't focus on the numbers because they're bots. So yeah, I was perfecting my craft at a time where it was MySpace and what's that mixtape website? DatPiff,
yeah.
So that was all skill based, and then the digital era happened, and then it started becoming, well, what does your social media look like? Mm-hmm. And
it's almost like you got to go up against Apple's marketing campaign nowadays,
right? And so like that's the one thing that I would say, like it's just been going from like the MySpace era to the digital era. We're still in the digital era.
Mm-hmm. Now, honestly, are you comfortable in the digital era that we're in right now, or do you wish that you can push a button and go back in time to the days before MySpace?
Half and half.
Half and half.
Half and half.
That's such a cheat code, but okay.
Because the reason being is because at the end of the year when I see my Spotify wrap up, mm-hmm. I get to see that my music was played in 80 plus countries.
Okay.
And
right.
that's
round of applause.
That's something that I never saw on MySpace. You know how happy I am when I go into my Spotify. Again, I'm a Spotify head. Yes. When I go into my Spotify and
you need a sponsorship.
and I just saw this on Apple Music yesterday.
Okay.
But when I go into my Spotify and I can finally scroll down and see fans also like. Mm-hmm. It took a while for me to get to that point because now it's like now I can show up on other artists fans also like. So when someone's curious and they're scrolling on another artist's page and they see me, it's like, oh, I'm curious. Let me see where he's at. So we're talking about like 100 and something monthly listeners. And at one point I was about 350. So, that's why I say half and half, because I want the skill-based era back, because, that's how you know how good someone can be. But then I also want to be able to have that reach where I can put an ad on something and target, Puerto Rico and target Japan and target Australia and target Brazil and Mexico and all these different, and India, and target all these different countries. Now I'm at the point where now I'm posting at a certain time, and I'm not just posting at any random moment. Mm-hmm. So I'm posting at a certain time for a reason. It's to gain traction from a certain audience. It's so like half and half. It has to, like, I want the skill-based era back, but I also want to be able to have that reach and be able to like target different countries and target different cities.
Okay, well, I'm glad you expanded on that. Yeah. So I've actually, speaking of the numbers and Spotify and all that, I went through the numbers myself, on YouTube and all that other stuff, and it seems that my main audience is males ages 25 to 42. Where would you say your demographic is as far as music is concerned?
About that same thing.
All right. So with that demographic, do you feel the need to cater to that demographic solely, or are you always looking for ways to expand your art where you could reach much more demographics than the one that you already have?
I think regardless the type of music that I do, it's gonna target that demographic. I wish it was more women, you know what I mean? But
you gotta have more songs like Haciéndolo.
Hey man, I'm pushing for it, man. But
I'm pushing it for you too right now. I'm plugging it.
But the demographic, yeah, because that's that's solely the type of music I make. It's not, I don't do it on purpose for that demographic, but I can understand why that demographic gravitates to my music, because that's the type of music that demographic wants to hear. Mm-hmm. I'm not making music for 18-year-olds. I'm not making music for 19-year-olds or 20 or 21-year-olds. That's where Double XL comes in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they can make, that's who they want to listen to. So when you see all these weirdos rapping in these wannabe ciphers, understand that that's that demographic. Like there's a crowd for everything.
Yes.
I'm not raining on their parade, but I don't make that type of music. More power to them, but I know, like, on a skill-based level, that's when the ego comes in.
Right. And it's not to say this in a bad way, but it's like you kind of basically just stay in your own lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, you work with what works for you.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever works for them. And at the end of the day, art is subjective, man. Everybody can be a part of it. Everything can, be all synchronized together as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, people say they make the music that they want to hear. Right. But I write what I consider is therapeutic. A lot of it is skill based, but when you really get into the whole of what I'm creating, is like, that's the therapy in me.
Yeah, which leads me to my next question, actually. So for besides the obvious reasons, monetization, all this other stuff that comes with the artist, respect, what would you say are some of the other key factors that motivate you to keep on being the story writer, the writer and the storyteller you are?
Reactions. Mm-hmm. I played a song for someone, and not only did it make them cry a little bit, but they actually thought like it was 100% real. And that's the beauty of storytelling, is the ability to make someone think something is about me, that it's that real. But here's the twist in it. Of course, part of it is real, is because you can relate to it. It's not just my story. Mm-hmm. That's why I sprinkle bits of me in every single thing that I do storytelling wise, because everything's relatable. Music is relatable. So although 95% of the song is not about me or is not real, it is real. It's real to someone who's going through it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So I was actually listening to another podcast a while back, not long ago. I'm not going to mention the name, but they said something that's very fascinating. So the interviewer asked the person that was being interviewed, do you consider yourself a narcissist? Because that's another word that's been really thrown around a lot these days. It's like a hot button issue word, and people want to use it for whatever they want to, whether it's for the actual reason it's made or the other people's interpretations. So when they ask the person if they're a narcissist, the interviewee says, I think to a certain extent, because when you're doing something that you really love, if you're a businessman, if you're an artist, if you're an actor, this, that, and the third, there has to be some kind of delusion to you in order for it to make it work. Like, I can go to my favorite rapper or my favorite artist, and I meet them, and I say, hey, man, I got this album coming out. It's about to be the hottest thing coming out, this, that, and the third. And then the person be like, okay, that's cool. And then they go about their day. they have to have that little bit of delusion within them to realize that, if they keep that in them, that's the fire that they need in order to keep on going and keep that motivation and this, that, and the third until it eventually will happen, especially if you manifest that. Not everybody out the gate is going to be like, yo, you're going to be the hottest thing smoking when you come out on the streets and everything. So with that sentiment, and I'm not calling you a narcissist or anything, but do you feel like as an artist in general, it is okay to have that little bit of delusion in order to keep into your mind, in order to keep that motivation going to get to the goal that you want to get to?
What, to believe in yourself?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not to the point where it seems a bit...
I'm not talking about Kanye level,
Oh, yeah, no. You have to believe in yourself, because... who's gonna believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? You have to believe in yourself more than anybody else. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to be your biggest critic. You have to believe in yourself.
And I agree with that. But why is it that I feel, and I could be wrong about this, but why do I feel like when it comes to rappers specifically, it seems like it's more delusions of grandeur compared to anybody else? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of unwarranted ego that comes along with it, especially if somebody doesn't have the catalog to back it up.
I was just about to say that it's ego.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it comes down to. And it's just rapping. Like rapping, that's probably like the most egotistical genre, because you don't really get that from like rock artists. It's for some reason it's the cloud that's over hip hop and over rappers is ego.
Mm-hmm. And that also falls into line with where there's a certain short lifespan when it comes to artists in the rap game specifically compared to other genres. Like me and Marv, we went to New York, but while we were heading back to Jersey, what was it, The Who? It was The Who that was performing in Madison Square Garden. And those dudes, they're like in their 70s. And granted, I don't think there's a lot of people that want to see a 70-year-old Big Daddy Kane up there performing, but what I think where the difference is there is that the age factor shouldn't be the thing. It's all about the appreciation. You have people that still listen to The Who from like years and years and decades of listening to, whereas this generation feels like they don't even know who Big Daddy Kane is.
Because mainstream has made it cool to put an age limit on art. Mainstream has made it cool to put a time limit on music. Music is timeless. If you make timeless music, then you don't have to worry about, it's old if it's 4 months old. No. Because what's new to you is old to me. Mm-hmm. You're just hearing it. So now, because it's new to you and it's fire, now it's no longer hot because, this came out 5 months ago. Mainstream has made it cool to put an age limit on artists. It's a young man's game. BS. You just said it. The Who was performing in Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. I just watched a video yesterday. I think System of a Down was just playing in a stadium. Yeah. They never have to worry about an age limit, but for some reason, mainstream has, he's washed, he's old. So let's start calling him old now.
Mm. And one of the things that I think would actually be pretty cool if this would happen in the hip hop culture is appreciation and preservation from even authority figures. And I'll give you an example to kind of contextualize it. So My Chemical Romance, they're a rock band. They're from Belleville, New Jersey. They actually performed at MetLife earlier this summer. And I saw, while they were in the middle of their set, the whole concert stopped because the mayor of Belleville came out to give them a key to the city of Belleville while they were doing their concert, and then they continue on with their show. It would be cool to see like the mayor of New York give that, that kind of grace to Nas or Jay-Z or the Clips or whoever is out right now that's like the hot thing that has legendary status.
Right.
And I don't think that happens more so in the genre. It's just more of more competition. Like, all right, this person at the top, who's the next person that's going to be on the top after them?
And the crazy thing is, like, as much as people keep saying it's a young man's game, cool, whatever. But look at the type of music we keep getting as the younger generation comes up, and the music is constantly changing. But look at the quality of music that we're getting from this young man's game.
I get it.
Every time there's a double XL and this is not a stab at double XL.
Right. They're just doing their job.
Yeah. If it was up to me, I would work at the source and find a way to be a competitor to double XL. What I'm trying to say is, every time there's a double XL freshman list, all you see is comments. Who's this? Garbage emojis, and it's because you guys keep saying it's a young man's game. These are what the suits want. These are what the suits are going after. And look, every time you say that it's a young man's game, this is what we got. This is what we got to show for it.
Yeah.
Instead of the Fugees or the Wu-Tang or Redman, everybody that's making music that could be timeless, that is timeless music.
Yeah.
The Nas is like timeless music. That's what you want. Not just for me. Like, I'm a music fan first.
Correct.
I want music that is timeless. I want to be able to listen to a song in 15 years and have that nostalgic feeling when I first heard it. That's timeless. Of course, they want to put an expiration date on music because you're making moment music. And yeah, after 90 days, now it's old. Now it's like a fiend.
Yeah.
I need that next hit, because now you're fiending for that next hit. Not only as the listener, but as the artist, you're chasing the next hit. Bro, just be you. If you're yourself, you don't got to worry about chasing the next hit, because that's just going to organically happen, and it's going to be able to live on.
Yeah. One thing I always say, and I live by this as well to an extent, if anybody wants to be a legend, just be yourself, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to do you better than anybody.
Exactly.
Exactly what Ric Flair said. So, as I mentioned before, I used to do music back in the day, and one of the pitfalls of it going downhill was I was basically put in a room with a bunch of people that felt like they knew better than I did about what I wanted to do and how I should go about, because they've had more skin in the game, and it just all imploded and fell apart, and then we just all went our separate ways, and bye-bye dreams. So I think one of the things that is, it's not gate kept, it's not under the rug, but I feel it doesn't get talked about enough, is the people like behind the scenes, like as far as agents, managers, producers, and sometimes the people that don't always have your best interest. And I think that not just in the rap game, but just in music in general, it could be a detriment to somebody's career. And I feel like you are somebody that has experienced that as well in the past.
Absolutely. Because once you feel like you just want to be the artist, that's when you're kicked out. That's when you're kicked out of your own bubble.
That's what happened to me.
You have to, like, point me to the camera. Where's the camera?
Your camera's right here.
Artists, supervise your music, supervise your career. Be hands-on. Be hands-on in every decision made towards your music, so that all these agents and these people that think that they know better for you, you have to supervise every single thing, from show booking to beats to studio sessions. Supervise everything. If they supervise their career and they're hands-on in their career, no one's gonna be able to put them in the wrong direction. And in order for me to say that is because I've had to go through it. Mm-hmm. I've had to go through people playing in my face, taking my money, trying to blame me for a project not coming out because you couldn't mix it. Well, newsflash, I'm not a mixing engineer. I'm an artist. So, these people, they'll have your best interest until you outsmart them, and now you're the problem. Mm-hmm. Artists have to be hands-on in every single thing with their music.
Right.
Don't feel like, I could just be the artist because my manager's going to take care of it. Who's your manager? What's their resume? and I'm not trying to downplay anybody, but if you're gonna put your career in the hands of someone who's the homie, I have no reason to work with you then.
Right. It's the classic case of like, you shouldn't work with family. I mean, not that's just a general sense. I mean, I know said you work with your brother and stuff like that, and that's cool. But I'm talking about my own personal experience where, sometimes the people that are closest to you don't always have the best interest, and while you appreciate the effort that comes along with it,
Yeah.
ultimately you're the one that's in the driver's seat, and you're the one that has to take control of the steering wheel.
Yeah, no, like it's very much appreciated for everyone who like family wise or friend wise that's ever helped me. That's very much appreciated. And although I've appreciated them, none of them have ever tried to step into a position where I felt like we were gonna have a fallout. Luckily, I've dealt with people in my life that they know what it is. They see the type of drive I have. They know what my mind is on go. They're there still because I trust them to be there. And if they're there, that only means like whoever's not there is for a reason. Mm-hmm. Like when I bring certain people to the studio, it's not what I think. I'm the rapper. Like anything's gonna sound good to me. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Because at the end of the day, you have to press play. Or when this song shuffles and it comes on, are you gonna skip it? Or because you know how good it is, you're gonna keep hearing it? That's my mindset. Like if I'm bringing you around me, it's because I trust you enough to be there.
Right.
So I value their opinion, but no one has ever, whoever's not around that used to be around is not around for a reason. It doesn't mean like we've ended on bad terms, at least for my part. Mm-hmm. It's just things happen. People grow apart. It's okay to grow apart.
Yeah.
You don't have to grow apart on bad terms. But artists should always make sure they're controlling the narrative. Don't let these people kick you out of your bubble. Mm-hmm. Agent, manager, studio manager, road manager, engineer, A&R, don't matter who it is.
Yeah, it sounds like it's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, like for what?
Yeah.
For what? And I'm not saying like put all the responsibility on yourself, because sooner or later you're gonna need that. You're gonna need to find someone that's gonna know what to do with you. That's the thing. Like there are people in my life personally, like my aunt's one of them, where I think she's got enough of her feet in the mud throughout her journey that I feel like she's capable of managing me. For whatever reason she doesn't manage me, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But that's because I would trust her enough that she knows what to do.
Right.
Because she's been in videos with 50. And she's done other things, music related, industry related. So that's someone, eventually you're gonna need that type of someone, because they have enough knowledge to steer you in the right direction. I'm not gonna ask Rajim from the gas station up the block to manage me because we dapped each other up a couple times when I went in there to buy a damn incense.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. And that's what's gonna be the decline in your career if you keep putting people in place. Why you got 7, 8 different people in your corner? What if 7 to 8 of them have done musically? Where are you going? Sooner or later, what you put out there is now going to decline. Mm-hmm. Now before you know it, you're going to have a kid. You're not going to be doing music as much. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but you didn't go. You had the potential to go far, and now you're not going anywhere. And now you're changing. You're no longer doing music because the right people weren't in your corner.
Right. Well, round of applause for that soliloquy right there. I could definitely tell in your passion and you saying it, it really has affected you, but you've learned the lessons from it and you've applied it for the better of your career.
You have to. Life itself is all about learning and applying it. That's what makes you better as a person. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from your decisions. Mm-hmm. Even people in a relationship. Let me make that decision.
Right.
If it's not the right decision, I'll own up to it. I don't lose any points by owning up to my mistakes. Mm-hmm. Not mistakes like cheating mistakes. I'm saying like decisions that is like, well, you should have listened. I couldn't listen because in order for me to learn from it, I had to make that decision. I had to have gone through it so that I can learn from it and apply it to my future endeavors. Mm. It's not all about like who's right and who's wrong. You have to learn from your decisions so that you can apply it to whatever it is that you're doing in life to become a better person, to become a better podcaster, to become a better rapper, writer, or better painter, whatever, construction worker, whatever it is. You have to learn from it, and you learn, you apply, and you conquer.
Absolutely. So you're obviously passionate about what you do. I mean, it seeps through in your music, you just talking about it, so on and so forth. So it's very safe to say that there's nothing that really ever in this world that's going to take you away from this art form. You feel like this was something that you were born to do. However, has there ever been at least one moment in your life where it could have been that, fuck this shit, I don't need this in my life, and you were just going to say, like, I'm done with this?
You know what's crazy? No.
Okay.
No, because, I've never refused entertaining that thought, is that there's always something happening to remind me, yo, this is why you're doing it. This is why you're doing this. It gets discouraging, yeah, but that's just a bump in the road. Mm. When that bump happens, okay, what's the next move? Only you will know when it's time. And when it's time, you'll know like, okay, I can't do this, but I'll do this. I've never really entertained the thought because something's always reminding me like, yo, like this is why you're doing this. Right. Like there's a reason, like you have a purpose. You're not done fulfilling that purpose. You have a purpose. This is happening. Oh, you got paid $350 to perform. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
And the reception of it is like, damn, like this is why you're doing this.
Right. Amen. Now, to get into your music a little bit real quick, like you said, you're a Spotify head, so I'm looking at your Spotify right now. 299 monthly listeners. That's, an accomplishment itself. Round of applause for that. Nice. So I want to do real quick, you know how Spotify does it with the popular list. Like if you went to a profile, you see the top 10 popular songs that they have on there. I want to stick with the first top 3.
Okay.
And then you could just basically expand on the meaning behind them. And by the way, I am a fan of these, so I want to say I appreciate your art and whatever you put out there, because it doesn't go in vain, man. It's really appreciated. So number 1 is a song called Rain. And go ahead. What was the meaning behind that?
I kind of took the story of Forrest Gump with Forrest and Jenny, and I used the weather as something that brought two people together, no matter where they at in life. We have this connection because of rain and like the storms that we go through in life. From as a kid up until your current adult life. And so it's like no matter where we are, we're always gonna be connected. So every time it rains and it pours, we get to stand outside and embrace it, because like we're overcoming that bad weather, that rain. So it's like with Forrest and Jenny, it's like no matter where they ended up in life, army, hippie, they always managed to find each other. I mean, even though in the end Jenny passed, but we're not.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. But yeah, like it's the connection with rain, and just one simple thing like weather that can bring someone together and that's how I came up with Rain.
Now, for the people that are not watching, they're listening, but you can check this out on YouTube. This is the album cover for that song right here for the EP. Why did you decide to use this particular cover for that EP?
It ties to like, you know, my beginnings, like where it started as like being in the Bronx. Like that was, and my birthday is Halloween, so I was a clown.
Okay.
And that, you know, I'm a clown still, so you know, that just connects to, you know, my beginnings growing up in the Bronx.
Okay.
So I wanted to, like, you know,
some scary shit out there in the Bronx.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where the cover came from. Just
gotcha. Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of these more and more in music in general. People are like showing up, you know, album covers of them as a kid, and there's always a story behind it.
Right.
And I guess that was just yours right there.
Yeah.
All right. And then number 2, which is definitely a banger in my eyes. I mean, this is like radio play all day. Haciéndolo, doing it. And I think we talked about this before, but right. I'm getting very big LL Cool J doing it vibes.
Yeah, because when I used to take the bus, like the minivans back in the day,
the poppy bus,
yeah,
as I like to call it,
they used to play the Spanish. You know, not that they used to. They would have the radio on, you know, the Spanish station, and sometimes I would listen to these Spanish artists jump on these like a 50 Cent beat and do their own version. So I had Haciéndolo, and I'm like, wait a minute, what if I take LL Cool J doing it and I flip it into a Spanish version, and it's already on a reggaeton beat. So I was like, all right, now let me get my flow off and just flirt with pushing the envelope, but not to where it's too much. If a station wanted to play it, it's almost like it's flirting on that thin line, but it still can get the radio play.
Yeah, and the streets.
Right, exactly.
You know, I don't know why, but it reminds me of around that time when you said, like, you know, all these Spanish artists were hopping on like popular hip hop beats. And this is also a shout out to Dre, my good friend, and who asked me to be his best man, by the way. So thank you so much for that, and congratulations. He's the guy that I used to do music with. And do you remember that song T.I., What You Know About That? Mm-hmm. He kind of did his own rendition. It's kind of funny to think about it now, but he was doing it all in Spanish. So instead of What You Know About That, he was like, Que lo que tú sabes, que lo que tú sabes. So that just kind of took me back to memory lane right now. So shout out to you, Dre, for that.
That's dope.
And then this one I really enjoyed. This is, I love deep cuts. I love personal stuff. And I could tell that this was really deep and personal and in some ways therapeutic for you.
Right.
The More I Talk. That's a deep cut for you.
Yeah, I done recorded that song like several times, and shouts to Secrets that she's singing on it. Mm-hmm. So the thing was, The More I Talk was it was about my relationship back in 2004, and shorty broke up with me. I guess she felt like I was trying to be controlling, which wasn't the case at all. It was one of them things where it's like, at the time, like, I don't smoke. Not that I have anything against it, but I don't smoke.
Right, it's just not your thing.
Right. And so she would smoke with people that know my brother, and her fear was that my mom finds out. Like, I could tell you, like, my mom's in the other room. She don't care about that. So my thing is, like, you know, if you keep fearing that my mom's going to find out, why don't you just not smoke? Not completely. I'm just saying, like, you're around someone that knows my brother. Why don't you just not smoke? Mm-hmm. So you don't have to worry about him running to my brother and telling my brother that he was smoking weed with you. So I guess it got to the point where she felt like it was too much. And I don't think it was that. I think it was, there were things that I didn't do, and at the time I wasn't a drinker. Not that I'm an alcoholic, like I'll have my IPA, you know what I mean? But she would smoke and drink with her best friends, and I wasn't there. Her best friends are there with their mans, and they're all doing it, and she's doing the outsider. So what happens? She grows a bond with her best friend's cousin. They become a thing. all right, what's the one thing that all Ray has to do is one thing. I could break up with him, get with the next person. And so basically that just, like I needed to get over my heartbreak, and I had the beat. I took all the pictures that I had with her. I laid them out on the bed, played the beat, wrote the song from start to finish. I wanted to build that from start to finish, like the timeline of everything. And when the song was completely done, I took the pictures, I threw them out. That's what I needed to get over it.
Nice. Now, also part of your catalog, and this is like what really drew me to you as an artist, is you have the Suave Ramon record, yes. Which I take that you're just having fun with that. Like you're a hip hop artist, this, that, and the third. You are fluent in Spanish. This is very much a hip hop Spanish record kind of thing. But the biggest takeaway that I get from it is that you're just having some goddamn fun, man. You're just living your best life, and I think it's a really enjoyable listen. I still listen to it to this day, and it goes to show that this really is a small world, because I was very surprised to see that in one of the tracks, Bonita, you were featuring Jay Diamonds, who's also a First Class Second Place alum. Matter of fact, for people that don't know, she has the highest rated episode of First Class Second Place. So shout out to you, Jay Diamonds, for that. Love everything you do. Go out and support my girl. But yeah, I was really cool to. I thought it was really cool to see that, and I love the back and forth, the banter that you guys had on the record.
Yeah, no, I've known Jay since MySpace.
Yeah,
I came across
it all comes
her.
back to MySpace.
Yeah,
shout out to Tom.
Yeah, right. The first friend. I came across her and I just thought like she was super dope. Like she just like the grittiness that she had at the time. It reminded me like she's like a female me, and that's what drew me to her. And then from there we just built the bond, and still tight with her to this day.
Yeah, me too.
Shouts to Jay. She phenomenal. She's making her moves, and I'm super, super happy for her.
I think that she's a great artist, but she's an even better person. That's the way that I would describe her. Yeah,
such a pure heart and great energy, great vibes, and so positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I grow up, I want to be like her. All right, so we got a little bit more time. So what is in the works now for Ray Pearson? Like any other new projects you're working on, or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I'm building the catalog up for Suave Ramon 2.
Nice.
That's more of the lane now where I'm going. Seeing that like how making that music has opened my eyes in ways that doing hip hop never did. Mm-hmm. And like I've always embraced I was Puerto Rican. No, not that I'm Puerto Rican. I've always embraced it, but now it's like, okay, like I did, when I got certain people in certain positions telling me this is what you need to be doing, and I trust their word because they're in a position where they could put me somewhere that is gonna like launch me to a different stratosphere. Mm-hmm. Then I trust what they're saying, and seeing like what is done for me, like the festivals, the Latin festivals, it's been real eye opening, and I'm either doing something, and I always say it, I'm either doing something that hasn't been done, or I'm doing something that hasn't been done in a long time.
Right.
And I know who to credit for it, and I would never take anything away from like those artists like the Beatnuts and Nitty Scott and Joel Ortiz and Bodega Bands and Pun and Cuban Link. Like I would never take anything away from them. So that's why I can't say that I'm doing something that hasn't been done, because there are people before me that laid the groundwork. I'm just doing something that I haven't heard in a long time, or even at the way that I'm doing it. And I'm going to keep pushing it, and I'm going to keep going after it until I'm doing it in a way where it's like, damn, I never heard someone do it like this. Mm-hmm. And so like Suave Ramon was, the positive, the Puerto Rican Mace. Suave Ramon 2, you're still going to get that, but now I'm really pushing the pen to seem like, okay, where can we take this? So it's like, it's stepping stones.
All right, I'm looking forward to it, man, because I'm already a fan of the first one, so I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel, man. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're about to close out this episode in a little bit, but before we do, we have one final segment. It's now time for everybody's favorite segment. It is now time for this or that. If you've never seen the show before, what happens is I will ask my guests here multiple choice questions. There's no right or wrong answers, just what you like best, and it's a nice way for the audience to get to know you a little bit more and to end the episode on a positive note. All right, that's right. So are you ready, Marv? Are you ready?
Right. Yes, sir.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go for this or that. You, Mr. Pearson. Playlist or podcast?
Playlist.
Okay. Slides or Crocs?
I'm going to go with Crocs.
Okay. Beach or pool?
Pool.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Okay. Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
To give or to receive?
Depends on what's her name.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert.
Okay. Batman or Superman?
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. No, Batman or Superman. I would go with Batman.
Okay. Iron Man or Captain America?
Iron Man.
Deadpool or Wolverine?
Wolverine.
Are you glass half empty or glass half full?
Oh no, what would Bruce Lee say? We'll go with glass half full.
Good. Would you rather be embarrassed or be afraid?
Be embarrassed or be afraid? No, hold on. I would probably say be embarrassed.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather be too hot or be too cold?
Be too cold.
Yeah. Would you rather do dishes or laundry?
I'll do both. I don't care. Let me see. Do dishes or do laundry? Do dishes. Okay. I mean, no, wrong. I'll do laundry. Who wants to smell like shit?
All right. Do you prefer the window seat or the aisle seat?
Aisle.
Yeah, I'm an aisle guy too. Are you more book smart or street smart?
Depends, but I'll go with street.
Okay. Do you prefer reading or writing?
Writing.
Would you rather speak every language or play every instrument?
Speak every language.
Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Dancing or karaoke?
Karaoke.
Do you prefer drama or comedy?
I will go drama.
Movie theater or streaming service?
Movie theater.
Ice water or room temperature?
Room.
And then finally, teamwork or solo project?
All right, wait. You said teamwork or solo project? No, I'm so used to being my own machine. I'm just going to go solo project.
Solo for Dolo. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this or that. And that is going to do it for this episode of First Class, Second Place. Thank you to my great guest, Ray Pearson, for coming through here, man. Real quick, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we close out?
Shouts to my moms in the other room. Shouts to you for having me.
Oh, thank you, man.
Shouts to everybody that keeps rocking with me. You know, the run ain't over yet. There's still more to go in this marathon.
All right.
Diamonds are forever.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Diamonds are forever. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find Ray Pearson on Spotify at Ray Pearson. That is RayPearson.
Yes,
And that's also where you can find you on social media as well, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, all that, Threads, all that.
Yeah, it's Ray Pearson.
It's Ray
OnlyFans.
Pearson.
Yeah, it's Ray Pearson.
OnlyFans.
No, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I put a music video on X videos back in the day.
Okay.
And it got mad plays.
Wow.
Up until, you know what's crazy? I have to double check to see if it's even still there.
Okay.
But you know, hey, listen, if I can upload it, don't matter. X videos, Pornhub, OnlyFans. If I can upload the music video, I'm uploading the music video.
Check out the OnlyFans, ladies and gentlemen.
Subscribe.
Yes. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming through, him, and wish you best of luck in all your endeavors and so on and so forth.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at I am Jason Enrique on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube at Jason Enrique. Thank you so much for tuning in. As I said, well, I'll be taking a break for the month of September, but I'll be back in October, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But also be sure to check me out on the 2 a.m. crew every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube and also all social media platforms with Ray Kaged. Definitely check us out on that. And yeah, thank you so much for the support. Hope you guys had a great summer. Hope you guys have a great fall. This has been the First Class Second Place podcast. We out.
Suave.